Uh, Thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Akeen. I'm going to be going over the Learning Genie in-kind module today and talk about how it can be used and how it can be useful for your agency. So I do want to thank you guys for joining me today. A little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Akeen. I'm an account manager at Learning Genie, and I work with a lot of Head Start agencies in all different states. And I've been able to see the success with our Learning Genie in-kind module, and I'll be showing you a little demonstration of how to use it and how it can be effective for your agency. So we're going to go into live demonstration. So we're going to start the demonstration. I'm going to stop sharing this PowerPoint screen. I'm now going to go into my iPad screen. Okay, perfect. So let me know if you guys are not able to see my iPad screen. We are going to be talking about the parent app. So let me turn on my annotation so you guys will be able to easily follow. We're going to be mainly focusing on this blue parent app. I'm pretty sure that you guys are used to the green educator app, but this blue parent app is actually our family engagement application that parents can use. So I'm going to click on the blue Learning Genie application. Okay. Once I've gone to this parent app, once I clicked on and the parents have signed in, this is what a parent will see on the home page. And the home page of the parent application is very similar to a Facebook newsfeed. They're able to see all of the family engagement items that the teachers have sent to them so far. So what parents can actually utilize on this parent app are resources to increase literacy at home. So you can see this video book right here that a teacher had sent to the parent, as well as they can receive reminders of events that are happening at their school and receive attachments. So if there's a flyer that needs to be sent out, rather than giving that parent the flyer in hand and maybe that flyer gets thrown away, they'll actually be able to receive that on their application on Learning Genie, and as well as the daily reports. So this parent application is really used to be an all-in-one center for parents to receive all of the great engagement items that are being sent out every day by your school. So whether it be updates about the school, updates on their classrooms, on this parent app, they'll be able to receive all of this in one place. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what parents can actually see on the parent app. I'm now going to move into our in-kind module and talk about how these parents can actually utilize in-kind. So if I click on the three lines in the left-hand corner of the screen, once the parents click on the three lines in the left-hand corner of the screen, they'll be able to click on this in-kind report. So the in-kind report is where the parents will be submitting in-kind activities. Okay, so here on the in-kind report, I just clicked on it. This is taking me to the in-kind home screen. And this is where parents can actually submit in-kind activities, and I'll explain a little bit about what you're seeing. So right here, the parents have already submitted some in-kind activities. That's why you're seeing 8 activities here. So that's the amount of activities this parent has submitted so far, the total value of the activities, so how much they've earned for your school while doing those at-home activities or volunteer activities. And I'll be explaining those different activities that parents can choose from in a little bit. And the total amount of time. So this is basically a summary of all of the activities that the parents have submitted on in-kind. The parents can, up at the top, toggle through the date. So when they've submitted the activity, they'll be able to toggle through the dates and see their previous submissions. Okay, so we're going to mainly focus on adding a new in-kind activity. And the way to do that is by clicking on this plus sign down at the bottom. So all the parent would need to do is click on the plus sign. Once they've clicked on the plus sign, they'll be taken to the Add an Activity screen, where they'll be able to choose from activities that your agency has set up for them to choose from. These activities are set in place by your agency. We help you with uploading them onto your account, and the parents will have access to choosing those in-kind activities. So you can see the parents can look through the list. They can filter it by domain, so developmental domains. So if they click on that filter up at the top where it says Alt Approaches to Learning, So they can filter by social and emotional development, language and literacy, or cognition. So if I click on language and literacy, the parents will then only be able to see the language and literacy activities rather than seeing the whole list of activities. So that's how the filter can be used. And the parents have the ability to choose from at-home activities or volunteer activities. So there's this volunteer activity tab. If I click on the volunteer activity tab, they'll then get a new list of activities that are just volunteer activities, so what they do in the classroom that they'll be able to choose from. So I'm going to show you guys how a parent can submit an in-kind activity and the easy steps that they do to actually submit one. So to do that, a parent can click on, let's say they were talking with their child about school parking lot safety. So the way to submit that activity is they can click on that number 4, where it says talk about school parking lot safety, then click select. Once they click select, then the parent, all they need to do is add the amount of time so that they spent doing this activity. So they can choose from these time increments down at the bottom, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Or if they've done a time that's not from these choices, they can choose the other option. If they choose the other option, they will only need to put the time in increments of 5 minutes. So I'll show you. If I do 5 minutes, is the amount of time I spent talking about parking lot safety. Then I click on the check mark in the right-hand corner of the screen. I've just added the time. So this parent has just added the amount of time they spent on the activity. They can add a comment as well if they like, but it's optional. So if your agency assigns them an activity and you'd like them to add a little bit more information, you can let them know that and they'll be able to add that information there. Or if the parents feel like adding more information, they'll be able to do that right here as well. Finally, they just choose the date of when they did the activity, and then they can click done in the right-hand corner and then click submit. Once they click submit, I'm gonna clear this real quick. Once they click submit, the parent will just need to sign off that they were the ones to do this activity. So this is proof that this parent has actually done the activity with their child at home. So when they click submit, they sign off with their finger on their device. And they also don't have to sign off every time they're doing an activity. We have an option where if they click on the box, they can acknowledge that their signature will be applied for every activity that they do in the future, and that will allow them to automatically populate their signature. So they'll just have to click submit when they're submitting a new activity. So I'm gonna just click submit, and then they get a nice pop-up thanking them for helping the school, and then a summary of what they've submitted so far. So those would be the steps for how a parent can submit an in-kind activity. So that would be the steps for how a parent can submit an in-kind activity. Now, if the parent wanted to search for an activity, they'll be able to do that here. So let's say you guys have assigned them an activity that you wanted them to do. So I'm going to go over one more step of just submitting an activity on the parent's end. Let's say a teacher has assigned them to do working on your child's IEP goals, but they just want to assign the number. The teacher can tell them, please do activity 1 with your child, and then the parent can search up at the top 1, and then that activity will pop up. So it allows for easy filtering and allows for the parents to easily navigate the parent app to choose an activity. So I'm gonna click on the activity and submit this one as well. Put the amount of time, done, submit, and then you'll see that signature will pop up again automatically, and then they can click submit on the activity. And then the activity has been submitted. Why is it saying I haven't submitted any reports yet? Let me see something real quick. 2020. There we go. So you can see those activities have been submitted. I just had to change the date to make sure it was on the right date. Okay, so that will be how a parent can go through the process of submitting an activity, 3 steps, choosing the activity, putting the amount of time, the date, and then signing off and submitting. Now, if a parent wanted to see the history of the activities they've submitted so far, they'll be able to use that history button down at the bottom in the right-hand corner. If I click on the history button, they'll be able to see all of the history of the activities they've submitted so far. So this gives the parents an idea of what they've done so far with their child at home or volunteering in the classroom. And they'll be able to see that there's a green check mark in the activity for one of these, for reading developmentally appropriate books. This means that this activity has been approved by the teacher or by admins, depending on who's approving for your agency. And then if they want to, let's say an activity has been rejected by an agency, a parent can revise the activity and resubmit it. Therefore, you guys won't lose any activities that aren't done correctly at first. You'll always be able to get those activities back because parents can always resubmit them for you guys to approve later on. Okay? So that's how the parent app works when in regards to submitting activities on in-kind. I do want to just touch on a couple more things on this parent app. We do have a translation feature that is available to agencies. If you guys use two-way communication, or if you want a way for parents to easily communicate with their teachers, we do have a messaging feature that has automatic translation over 100 different languages, this chat box here in the right-hand corner, which can allow for parents and teachers to easily communicate and allow for that language barrier to be overcome. So that is a feature that is available on this parent app as well. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the web portal, where I'll be showing you guys this in-kind dashboard, which we've worked on and we've seen a lot of success with agencies. So I'm really excited to show you guys. But I'm going to stop sharing my iPad screen for right now, and I'm going to move on to the web portal. So just give me a brief second while I do that. Okay. So I'm just logging in on the web portal real quick, and I'll be able to share my screen in a second. Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let me know, guys, if you're not able to see this screen. I'll be checking the chats to make sure everyone's able to follow along. But now I'm just showing you guys the web portal of Learning Genie, where you guys will actually be able to see the in-kind dashboard to get an overview of what's been submitted so far and pull reports for in-kind, so you can actually get that report information and report that to Child Plus if that's a place that you guys are reporting it to. And so I'll be showing you that in a second. So in order to get to the in-kind dashboard, you're going to click on this Manage Family Engagement tab. Then you'll have a few choices you can choose from, but we're going to focus on this in-kind report. So I go to in-kind report. Okay. So now that I've gotten to the in-kind report, this is the in-kind dashboard that I'm showing you guys. Here on the in-kind dashboard, the great thing about this dashboard is it gives an overview of all of the in-kind submissions that have been approved by the teachers or admins so far. So this will give you a summary of all the information that's been approved in in-kind. So right here in the left-hand corner of the screen, you can see there are filters that you'll be able to filter it down by. So you can get this dashboard will summarize everything by center level, class level, and then you can also review it on a child level as well. So I'll show you how the filter works. So right now you're seeing it, all the centers. If I click on one of the centers, and I go to Family Engagement Demo, I choose a class, now you can see that has updated, and the information is now just showing it by the class level, and you can just see the in-kind that's been approved by the class level. And the great thing about this dashboard as well is you can also see the activities by the developmental domains, developmental goals. So it really allows for you guys to track this information. And if you can see that we have around 38% of the activities being submitted are social and emotional development activities. If you wanted to increase your language and literacy, this would be a great way of monitoring that and seeing that you can assign more language and literacy to increase that developmental goal at your agency. So this is a great way to track that information on the dashboard. Okay, so now I'm going to actually go and show you on a child level how you'll be able to pull reports and gather information on in-kind. So I'm going to go to where it says reviewed. Okay, so here on the reviewed, now I'm actually seeing it by the center and by the class. So up at the left-hand corner, you can see the center name, the class name, and I'm seeing the children that are in this classroom. Okay, so in order to review an in-kind activity, I can click on where it says pending. So admins have the ability to review these in-kind activities when they click on pending, and then in order to review that in-kind activity, to approve it, ignore it, or reject it, you'll have 3 options, and I'll go over each option. If you wanted to reject this in-kind activity, you could click on this X down at the bottom left-hand corner. Once it's been rejected, it'll go back to that parent app, and under the revise button that I showed you guys earlier, those parents can revise their work and then resubmit those in-kind activities. So that's what the reject button does. The ignore button allows for the staff or the admins to ignore an in-kind activity and not alert the parents that they're not going to be using it for reporting. And then the approve button, oh, looks like there was someone that sent a chat. Let me see what the chat's about. I don't see this tab in my Learn Genie. I don't think our account includes it. That's a great question. We will be able to reach out to your account manager and get that turned on for you if you're interested in using this in-kind module. I'll be able to discuss that with you guys at the ending of the presentation. That's a great question. It might not be turned on quite yet. Or you might not be utilizing family engagement yet as well. But back to what I was saying, to approve an in-kind activity, hopefully that's what we're using the most. We want to be approving as many activities that are accurate and that can be useful for your agency. So this approval button does exactly what it says. It just approves the in-kind activity, and then you'll later on be able to pull a report. So I'm going to approve an in-kind activity and show you guys what the report looks like. So if I approve this Samantha Flores' activities, let me approve that. Then you'll see there's 2 notifications alerting me that I can sign off and submit. So if I click on sign and submit up in the right-hand corner, this will give me an overview of what I've just approved so far. So this is giving you an idea that, okay, I've approved that she was talking with her, Samantha's parents were talking about dental and vision with Samantha. Everything looks good. I'm going to sign off and say that this is okay to submit. So once I've signed off and submit, this is alerting the admins, thank you for your hard work. You've successfully approved an in-kind submission. And great, you've just collected in-kind for your agency. So that's just another summary, very similar to how the parents get a summary and a nice message thanking them. You also get a message as well. And then finally, if you wanted to download a report, if you click on where it says download and then do PDF report individual child, then download the selected month for January 2020. So let's download that, and I'll talk a little bit about this report. This takes a little bit of time to download, but once it downloads, you're going to get some good information on what's been submitted so far. Internet might be a little slow. Okay, let me refresh my screen real quick. So let me do that one more time. So I'll just go over the approval process one more time. Sign and submit. And let's download that report. PDF report, not whole class. Download PDF report individual child. Download the selected month. Okay, perfect. So now the report has downloaded. I'll talk a little bit about this report. So here on the in-kind report, you're able to see a summary of what this child's parents have submitted in in-kind so far, whether it be the at-home activities or volunteer activities. If they've submitted volunteer activities, it looks like for this child, they haven't submitted any volunteer activities. It also gives you a summary of the total value, so what you've collected so far in in-kind and the amount of time that these parents have been actually doing those activities. So let me turn on my annotation real quick. Easier for follow. And you get a description of what's been submitted. And if you're reporting this information to Child Plus or another data entry site that's similar, we also have this father figure where you can actually notify whether it's the father figure who's been submitting, and it gives you a summary of it gives you a name of the teacher who actually approved this in-kind submission. And down at the bottom, you can see all of the staff who have signed off so far, and it gives you the parent and guardians who have signed off as well. So you can see I signed off a little bit earlier when I was showing you guys how the parents can submit, and another staff is signed off, and you can see actually which staff members have approved those in-kind submissions on this report. Okay, so this is gonna be really useful for admins if you guys are collecting this data and need to report this data. You'll have a report with all that information that you guys can utilize. Okay, so that's a little bit about this in-kind report. I'm now gonna go back to Learning Genie. Okay, and I do want to go back to the dashboard and just show you one more report that you can pull by an agency level. So let me go back to the dashboard real quick. If I go to reports. So back to this dashboard, once again, it's just an overview. You can see by the whole center or by the whole agency or by center level or classroom level. You also have the ability of pulling a report, agency level report. If I click download, then if I click, this is just allowing for a data entry signature. You can click yes, sign off, submit. I'm now gonna get a report by the agency level. Okay, and I'll just talk about this report real quick. So this report is now giving you a summary by the agency level of the in-kind that's been submitted. Actually, this is by classroom level because I was toggled by engagement class 1. So you do have the ability to do it by agency level or by specific class. And it gives you a summary of what has been submitted, whether it's been at-home activities, volunteer activities, and who has been submitting those activities. So I just wanted to show you the two different types of reports that you guys can utilize on this in-kind feature. And we've seen great success with other agencies using these reports and gathering this in-kind information. Okay. I'm going to move back to displaying my little PowerPoint. I want to talk about a couple more things, and I want to open it up to you guys for any questions. Okay, so now let's go back to the PowerPoint. View, present. Okay. All right, so I know we've talked about how parents can submit in-kind activities. We talked about how admins or teachers, depending on how your agency sets it up, because you do have choices on who can approve those submissions and pull reports to gather information to report to Child Plus or other data entry sites as well. But here are the templates that will actually be utilized and used to upload your in-kind activities that are going to be given to the parents. So these templates, like we were seeing earlier, at-home activities, volunteer activities, these are what the parents are going to be choosing when they're actually doing the activities. And you can see you put the activity description, activity ID, the domains that the parents can choose from, and the domain name, and volunteer activities as well. So these activities, once we set up in-kind for your agency, we've turned on the in-kind feature, you guys are able to use it. We actually assist you guys with creating these templates to make sure that it works, it fits your agency's needs, and the parents have the right activities to choose from. And then we help you guys upload it onto your account. And once this is completed, if you guys are interested in using this in-kind module, there are just 3 steps. Complete the in-kind templates. We'll be able to send it to your account manager can send those templates to you. We'll be able to coordinate an admin and staff training where we definitely walk you guys through how to set up in-kind effectively. And we've seen agencies have great success. So we'll walk you guys through it and use our best practices to make sure you guys have it set up correctly for you. And then we measure your success and results, and we check in with you to make sure everything's run properly for your agency. Okay, so those are the 3 steps that you can utilize to set up in-kind. And we do have the family engagement pilots that are available to you guys if you want to reach out and gain further information. You'll be able to reach out to your account manager. So I do want to open it up to you guys for any questions that have been in your guys' mind. I know I've been talking a lot, but let me know if you guys have any questions. I really want to open it up for you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Do you guys have any questions about this in-kind module? Gerline, Jesse, Letitia, Loida, Maria, any of you guys have any questions or any thoughts about the in-kind module? Do you think it could be effective for your agency? Let me go to the chat. Yes, I see 2 chats. Can you briefly go over the report that you can? Okay, perfect. So a lot of questions are coming in. So give me 1 second. I want to go one by one. Can you briefly go over the report that you can pull by child? So I'll start off with Jesse's question first, and then I'll go to everyone's afterwards. Yes, I can definitely briefly go over the report again. If I went a little bit fast, I apologize, but let me go over it again. Okay, so let's go to, 1 second, share my screen. Okay, so let's go over that report again. So let me go to reviewed. Okay, so let me go to download. Oh, I think I already downloaded the report, so I can just pull the report again. Download. So I'm pulling that report for that individual child. We'll talk about it real quick. And if you have a specific question you have in mind, Jesse, like if you're wondering about what information is being shown on the report, let me know. But I'll just talk about the report again. So here on this in-kind report, it is a summary of what this parent. So you can see Pat and Goldie Hawn. These are the parents of Ryan Gosling. which is kind of funny. But Pat and Goldie Hawn are the parents of Ryan Gosling. And basically, this is just summarizing what they've submitted so far. So you can see on the date that 1/23, Ryan Gosling's father figure, so that would likely be Pat, had done working on the child's IEP goals. So it's giving you a summary of what that parent has done, and it lets you know which teacher has approved that in-kind submission. Yeah, so that would be kind of what this report's used for. It can be used for reporting to Child Plus. That's why we have these fields, very similar to how Child Plus has those fields as well. And soon, this report I know right now is just in a PDF. In the near future, we're actually going to have this in an Excel file. But this report just summarizes what's been submitted so far. But great question. I'm going to open up to another question. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay, absolutely. This is very helpful. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. So let me go back to Nellie's question. Can the value of time money figure be turned off? Yes, Nellie. Thank you for bringing that up. The value and the time, the value can be turned off. The time, however, we haven't heard that be requested before, but the value, the money figure can be turned off. If your agency doesn't feel like sharing that with the parents, that's completely fine. We have some agencies that don't, but you do have the ability to turn that off for your agency. What is this value dollar? The value of the dollars is how, so there's a rate. So this is Nagam's question. The value or dollar is the rate that you guys set up for each in-kind activity. So you actually set it by classroom level. So if there are in-kind activities, you have a rate of your at-home activities of $10, then each time a parent submits an in-kind activity, they'll receive, or your agency will receive $10 in kind that you can report later on to get that non-federal match. Oh, and I'm sorry, Gerline, that you didn't get a chance to start the demo. I'm sorry about that. There will be other demos that you can always jump into. I think we have 2 more next week that you'll be able to join later on. Yeah, we started at 9:05. I try to give some people some time. So Excel will be helpful. Thank you, Jesse. And Letitia, thank you for letting me know you didn't have a question. I'm hopefully this is pretty simple and you guys get a good understanding. If not, feel free to reach out to your account manager. They'll be able to give you even more detail about this if you have a couple questions. And if you are interested, we'll be able to help you guys set up this in-kind module. Are there any other questions that you guys might have that's on your mind? This is very exciting. We're going to awesome. And we've seen great success. So I'm happy to see that some people are excited about this because it can be really useful and it can put everything in one place. So not only is in-kind useful, but the family engagement module is also very useful as well because everything is just in one place and you don't have to worry about pulling out sheets. Where to click when it starts. Okay. Yeah, Gerline. I'll be able to reach out to you, Gerline, and we can make sure you get into another webinar. We'll have one next week. Well, thank you guys again. I'm going to be ending this webinar. Feel free to reach out to your account manager if you're interested in in-kind, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye, guys.